Only 2 candidates remain. One final task stands in the way of Hannah and Anthony as they dream of taking home Samuel's £20,000 cash prize. 11 candidates have fallen by the wayside, but can the 2 finalists hold their nerve as the race to be crowned champion unravels in this thrilling series finale?
There has been £20,000 transferred into...
Let us know in the comments below who you think will win the competition and who Samuel will transfer £20,000 to live in front of their eyes. It's the grand final of The Eviction. So, 1 week after leaving the castle, we catch up with Anthony to see what he's been up to since the last boardroom.
Alright, so tell me a bit about what's gone on last week then.
So basically what I've been looking for is properties that I can find below market value to do buy, refurbish, refinance with. So I found 7 properties, but only been able to book viewings on 2 of, well, one of them actually, and then I got offered this second one, so that's 8 in total.
So what's your estimation on the works for this one?
I think I'll need to send some pictures of the seller to the builder just to see what his viewpoint is, whether it's going to affect any kind of rising damp on the property. I think...
What do you think of the damp on the property?
So I think it looks like it's coming up from the base. I don't know a quote to get that fixed, if I'm honest with you. Normally about £4,000, £5,000 I believe to get the damp course done in something like that. So, but I'll need to send off and get a quote for that. I think the property, exclude the main shell of the property, kitchen, bathroom. In fact, the bathroom was in relatively good condition. So I think if we replace the kitchen, new carpets throughout the house, I imagine we could probably do the work on that for about 6,000.
Do you know one of the big turn-offs for me?
What's that?
That.
Yeah.
Because next door's a crap hole, isn't it? Clearly. My
property in Crewe that I currently own used to be my home of residence. I've now moved out of that and bought this new house. So this house I've decided to rent out, and my perfect idea for this house is I've done a lot of work to it, was to have a really nice family move in there. Whilst doing some work on the house, I had a lady come across the road and asked me if I was going to rent it. So I explained to her I was, and she told me a story that she was on the council waiting list. She'd been really struggling to get a house. She's got 2 children, and actually that they were only going to give her a 2-bedroom house, which meant that in 2 years' time they'd have to try and move again because one of the child would become too old and they couldn't live together in the same room. So I let her come and have a look around my house, and she just fell in love with it and said it was the perfect house for her. And after talking to her, I said to her, actually, you're the perfect tenant. You're exactly what I'm looking for, and for you to have fell on my doorstep is fantastic. So we're hoping to meet tomorrow, and she's going to sign the contracts, and her and her partner and the children are going to be able to live in my house and build some new memories, which is fantastic. Happy with everything?
Lovely.
Excellent. Well, there's the keys. and really hope you enjoy the house. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
Yes, you will.
Yet another great home for a growing family. Anthony proving there that if you don't cut corners and you do things right, you can find the perfect tenants and still make money with property. Let's have a chat with his family to see if he's as squeaky bloody clean as we've made him out.
I honestly, when he told me about getting into property, I was honestly basically just support. I was just like, if you think it's right and you want to do it, then go for it, because I'm not going to stop you. Like, I still don't understand too much or anything, really. Like, some things he says to me do go over my head, but he always asks me things, and I'm like, if you think it's great, then do it. So then I'll support him with whatever. But what his biggest weakness is sometimes is, I think he overthinks things too much. Like, he'll think like something he hasn't done isn't good enough, and then he might then try and make it better, but then actually overcomplicating it when it was already great, but because he just has that self-doubt sometimes. I think that's what his biggest weakness is.
To be honest, I was very cynical at the beginning and said, you know, really do your homework before you go into this. I just thought it was hard selling at the beginning, to be honest, and I was a bit apprehensive, to say the least. I've watched him along the way, getting more and more enthusiastic about the journey, and he really excited about the different things, and I've seen pictures of the buildings and the rooms that he's transformed, and I've thought there's more to this than meets the eye, really. I need to really look into this. So I started watching some of Samuel's YouTube videos, and I thought, this isn't what I thought it was. So I then phoned up Anthony one day and I said, guess what, I'm going to a crash course, which he was really shocked about. And he was like, why? And I said, because I want to see for myself, you know. And I did go along to the crash course, and I found it absolutely fantastic. It's not about the money with Anthony, it's about wanting to not win, not even the winning of it. He just wants to achieve it. I think he wants people to be proud of him, you know, and so I don't really think he's doing it for the money. So if I'm perfectly honest, I don't think it is the money he's doing it for. It's just for him and his self-esteem. That's why he's doing it, because he wants to, you know, prove to probably his family that, you know, he can do this, you know, because he's very, very family orientated, Anthony is. And his family mean the world to him, you know. So I don't think it is about the money. I really don't.
Anthony's biggest strength is being able to talk to people and get his message across in a very polite. He's not pushy, you know, and I think he makes people feel at ease very, very easily, you know. And if he's going to do something, he'll research it. So if he's going to say something, he can hold his hand on his heart and say, I know what I'm telling you is true. And I think people read through that with a lot of people, don't they? You know, they can see a bit of a scam artist sticking out like a sore thumb, and Anthony doesn't put that image across. If it's all, whatever comes out of his mouth's true.
Anthony absolutely is the Del Boy of Stafford. He always says, this time next year we'll be millionaires. I think Anthony has managed to make it through to the final because of his absolute determination. Nothing will get in Anthony's way. He can be quite ruthless, but he's extremely eloquent in how he engages other people into his projects. Very conscientious and absolutely knows what his end result will be.
I'm very excited and very anxious. Hannah's a very strong candidate, and I think it's great that both her and I are in the finals, because I think we both deserve to be there. We've put a lot of effort and work in. I would love to win the competition, and I think I'm exactly right to win the competition, because I think what I'll do with the money will help provide more great houses for people, and so really excited, and I just hope that when Samuel sees what I'm going to do with the strategy, he'll pick me to win.
Anthony, I'm so incredibly proud of you for getting through to the final. I wish you all the very best of luck, because I absolutely know that you can win this, hands down. Good luck.
Good luck, Anthony. We're so proud of you. Keep up the good work. We know you can do this.
All the best, and just look to the future.
I really wish you all the best for the final, and I'm behind you 110%, and I am so, so proud of you.
So that is Anthony Wilmot, for the record, one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my entire life. But let's take a trip over to the Valleys and get an insight into what Hannah Mills has been up to, the only candidate to win every single task on the Eviction, and probably the bookies' favourite to lift the title.
So here we are in wonderful sunny Wales. We're actually having to stand under a tree at the minute because it's raining, and it's raining quite heavy. We're in front of the beautiful Tredegar House.
Yeah, Tredegar House in Newport.
So Hannah, please just go over and just explain briefly what your business plan was again.
Sure, so basically my business plan is 3 steps over 3 years. First step is to have 5 service accommodation apartments in Cambridge. Second step is to refurb my house with some of the money that I make from the 5 apartments and pull out even more money into a pot of cash. And then the third step is to invest that pot of cash that I've built up through the service accommodation apartments and my house to invest in buy-to-let properties in glorious South Wales.
Even though it rains here all the time.
Even though it rains.
It's like when I drove from England into Wales, it just started raining. It's like, welcome to Wales, it's raining.
Yeah, literally. Do you know what? Everyone says that, and to be honest with you, it's not great that it's raining right now. I swear to you, it was actually sunny last week. I promise you.
I'm really not convinced.
Believe it or not, the rental market is actually quite strong here.
No, I know it is. I know it is. So how have you been implementing your business plan?
So tomorrow we're going to Cambridge. You'll see the 5 apartments. You'll meet the landlord. Who's also a mini developer in Cambridge that I built up a relationship with, which is cool. So you'll see them. And then today you're going to see a buy refurb project in South Wales and sort of the possibility of what I want to invest in.
Okay.
And yeah, you'll get to know Cambridge a bit tomorrow. And basically what I plan to do is take you through every step of my business plan so you can see where I am going and how I'm going to get there.
And you've got the £20,000 spent pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, if I just invested in the 5 service accommodation apartments myself, then it's roughly around about 17.5 grand. However, I've already got some JV partners that are interested in doing it and potentially managing it for me as well. Right. So yes, potentially I could spend the 20 grand, but actually if I get them involved, then I'm probably spending more around.
I mean, the key to business is to keep your costs down.
Yeah.
So if you can keep your costs down and keep more money in your bank for contingencies for other projects and still make a similar money, it's the key. It's the key to success.
Do you know what? That refurb project actually taught me lessons going into this whole business plan thing with JV partners. When you were like, well, if it was your own money, would you actually spend that amount of money? And I was like, I wouldn't. First thing that's going to happen in Cambridge is actually these guys, the camera crew, lovely camera crew, they're actually going to stay in one of my service accommodation places.
Are they?
Yeah. So
it's got to be better than the Ibis, isn't it, guys?
So they're going to stay there and hopefully tell me any pitfalls or anything that's going wrong with it or anything like that. But so they're going to stay there, and I'm going to meet them there in the morning. We're going to film in that one,
right?
And then I'm going to take them to another one that's literally just across the road, and then they're going to meet my nan and granddad. Cool. Which would be quite interesting because my mum and dad are swanning it up in the sun. And then we're going to go over, I'm going to show them a bit of Cambridge and around, and then we're going to see the 5 apartments.
So basically the guys are going out for a doss out in Cambridge for the day.
Yeah, a free night stay in a 2-bedroom house in central Cambridge. They're loving life.
Of course they are loving life. So we asked this question to you last week and you mentioned your partner about how it's not just about you.
No,
Samuel is a big advocate that the money is not just for you. So it's not just about what the money does for you, it's about what it does for other people. So what's your underlying sort of why and reasoning for getting involved in property and sort of starting out and embarking on this journey?
Yeah, easy to be honest with you. One of the main reasons is 100% is Corrie, because we both lived, well, she still does to a certain extent, 9 to 5, works very hard, but she's also, she plays football at quite a high level, but she has to work full time for us to be able to pay bills and play football. So for instance, the other day they played Oxford away and she got back at 1 AM in the morning and then she was back at work at 9 o'clock in the morning.
What does she do for a living?
She is like a sports coach, and my main motivator, without a doubt, is to provide a better life for both herself and me. And if I can make that money through property, whereby she can help me with property, because she's pretty tech savvy on the media front. If I can give her an extra income to do that, then that will change her life. It will change mine.
Let's join Hannah taking a look around some properties she'd be looking at refurbishing in Cambridge. Hannah's business plan has multiple arms to it, including serviced accommodation, releasing equity from her own house, and the end goal of building a large buy-to-let portfolio.
So this is actually one that I'm looking at putting in an offer for. Everything's been completely ripped out. This is actually the living room, so it's based on 3 floors. It needs new windows, new carpet, but the ceiling's pretty good. Unfortunately, just missed the builder John that came round, but he reckons that we could probably do it for around about 15.5k, which is fantastic. I'll give you a quick tour of the house if you want to come have a look. Okay, so we're in sunny Cambridge at the moment, unlike Wales yesterday, and this is one of my service accommodation units, and we're literally right at the back of the Grafton Centre, and this is a 2-bedroom house. Come and have a quick look if you want. So I'll show you downstairs because currently Matt is upstairs with the cameramen. They kindly stayed here last night, but that's the kitchen. Here is the living room. And the lovely little garden that then goes out onto the centre of Cambridge. Okay, so we're at the property in Cambridge, which is the first step in my business plan, which is the 5 apartments, service accommodation apartments. So as you can see, this is a brand new building, and we're going to meet the landlord. What they've done is they've actually bought the garden off the property next to them and redeveloped a house here. And basically there's 5 apartments all in this building. Really excited, it looks really, really cool. And it's set to be finished in the middle of June. So all the sort of interior stuff is starting in the next couple of weeks, which should be really cool. So go inside and take a look. I'm excited, I've never seen it before. So we've literally just seen the property and it's epic inside. So upstairs there's like a really cool feature wall where the glass is coming in from the back of the house. But we call it on camera, it looks epic. Each flat is actually different as well, it's slightly differently shaped, which is really cool because basically when you market it, we can market it as different individual apartments and also different cut schemes, then it won't seem like they're all in the same place. But the other really cool thing is the fact that they are all in the same place. They're going to be really easy to manage. Perfect location. The rent's actually really cheap as well. It's actually £200 cheaper than I put in my business plan, so I'm really happy about that. And as you'll see from the video, the landlord's really cool with us picking out what furniture we want in there and also how we want to design it as well. So yeah, they're going to be ready middle of June, maybe July, which is great. We can catch the end of the summer season, and these are going to make a lot of money. So I'm excited.
Let's catch up with Hannah's nearest and dearest so we can get a flavour of how bloody awesome she is.
She kind of came home one day and was like, oh, I'm going to start renting this place in Cambridge and then I'm going to put it out on Airbnb, and I was like, all right, okay. I was like, in time, and she was like, no, I'm gonna do it now, and I was like right now? And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it all sorted. So she went home, went to Cambridge, got it all sorted and did it, and I was a bit like, oh, like it's all done? And she was like, yeah, sorted. I was like, right, okay, that's great. And then obviously she got like her other one from it, and then with all the other stuff with her new business and that. She takes a lot of things to heart. She's quite an emotional person. She doesn't really show it that much, but she, like if someone says anything bad about her or negative, she really takes it to heart. So I think that is a big, like I think as well with like everything she's done, I think she's come across a lot of that, and she's kind of got over it, which has been good for her as well. Because I think with her working day to day, she's always been really good at that and comfortable. So I think she's never really had it within work. But now she's gone into this, which is a little bit different. I think she's overcome quite a lot of negative things, which is good. Because like obviously when she worked in Bristol, she worked 9 till 5, but she would leave the house really early, get home really late. Like I play football, so I train 3 nights a week. I coach one night, so I don't get in till like 10:30. So we wouldn't really see each other 4 nights a week. But then obviously with this now, it's a bit more freedom. So like perhaps if I've got an hour after work before I go train, then go home, and she's always there. So like that's a good thing then that's come out of her doing a different job, is that we do sometimes get a little bit more time to spend together, which is nice. But then obviously with her being away with the show and things, and like if she's got to go to Cambridge on the weekend and things like that, if I'm working I can't really go with her, so I don't see her then. But I think it weighs up that I probably do see her more, which is better.
I think Hannah's biggest strengths is that she's very committed to something. She'll go with it, and she's very driven. She's hardworking, and she sees things through to the end as well.
She's driven. She's very likeable. She's silly. She's warm-hearted. She's somebody who she's got a softness about her. I can't explain it. Like she's normal. She's somebody that anybody could look at. She's come from a working class background. She's amenable to any situation. She speaks to everybody exactly the same, how she finds them, and yeah, I don't think anybody deserves it more than Hannah. Obviously I'm biased, but she's put so much into her career, even if it's not the property side, over the last 20 years. She's worked so hard, and nobody deserves to be where she is today more than Hannah.
We didn't understand it. We're not into this Airbnbs or whatever it is, and we didn't quite understand what was going on at first. And then she's explained it to us. And and every time we say, how's it going? She says, oh, I've got some more flats or more things doing it. And we got a little bit nervous, I must admit, thinking, is she going to be out of her depth? But she certainly hasn't been.
Especially at a very young age, like she is.
She's only 26, and so she's,
She's done very well.
Yep, we're really proud of her. She's very, very focused on what she wants to achieve, and I think that's, okay. She said, you've always said to the kids, if you sometimes have to work with people you don't particularly like, just smile.
Just don't show it.
Yes, just don't show it. And I think possibly she probably didn't like all of her people who are competing against her, but she doesn't actually outwardly show it. She just, but she is very, very focused on what she would like to do.
We didn't understand what it was about first of all, but we do now, and she's done very well.
Yeah.
I said in my business plan, I'm an ordinary person trying to do extraordinary things, which I think is quite a powerful message, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have any money, that don't think they can make money, or they feel that they're stuck in a 9-to-5 job and they can't do anything. It's crap. It's bollocks. If you've got drive and you've got determination, you can make waves in the world doing whatever you want to do, whether it's through property or charity or whatever. But I would say you only have one life. You 100% have to live it. And the reason why I have that is my dad had cancer recently. He overcame it, and it changes your mindset. If you're sitting on the seat right now and you're watching this and you're wondering whether to get into it or not, dive straight in, because it's changed my life. I'm 26 and I will now forever be working for myself in some sort of capacity, doing what I want to do, hopefully one day travelling the world. And do you know what, I can genuinely say that I'm the happiest that I've ever been mentally as well. So man, just go ahead and do it. And I'd say one of the other things that I'm really proud about is 100% doing it as a gay person as well, in I guess in the mainstream, in the media, and being proud about it. I'm not ashamed about it, and I think it's a cool thing, and I hope people take encouragement and confidence from it, that it's not what you are, it's what you do.
Good luck, Han. We're so proud of you. We couldn't be any prouder whether you get into the final than we are of you every other day. Love you.
Good luck, Han. I hope you do really well. I am really, really proud of you.
Good luck, Hannah. I know you'll do well, and I hope you win the final.
I used to say to her when they're playing football that when two players are running for the ball, it's classed as a 50-50, but I say to her, it's not 50-50, you have to say to yourself, it's mine.
4 weeks of intense competition complete, hours of property deals negotiated, but who will take home Samuel's £20,000 in the final boardroom?
This is probably the most nervous that I've been out of this whole thing. I think to a certain extent because I feel it's a bit out of my hands. So with all the tasks and things, because they were sort of like effort driven, there's an element of control, but with this, there's nothing. It just comes down to who they think has the best business plan. So yeah, I'm pretty nervous. I'm laughing because that's what I do in these situations. But yeah, I am pretty nervous.
I'm just about to get into the boardroom and I'm super nervous but super excited. I think everything has led me to this point today and I've come to win. So I'm going to go in there and do everything I can and just show to Samuel and the team exactly what I've been doing since I left the castle, and I really hope that they pick me to win the £20,000.
Okay, so you went to see Anthony?
Yep.
And you went to see Hannah?
Yep.
What did you think of Hannah?
Awesome.
Really?
Very good. I think her plan's good. So we went to visit her old employer where she trained to be a solicitor, and they absolutely loved her in there. They were very complimentary. They said how hard working she is, and they always knew she'd be a success. So when she left, when she handed her notice in, they knew she'd go on to do good things.
She's a bright girl, that's for sure. The question is, do you think that where she's going to be putting the money, do you think that it's going to be a very strong, solid investment?
I do think it comes with some risks because obviously service accommodation is the buzzword at the minute, and we all know what happens when things are the buzzwords. They tend to go a little bit wrong sometimes.
Do you know one of the concerns maybe with her plan is she's not actually buying anything. Yeah. So with Anthony's plan, he's buying a property. So at least he's got that as an asset. Whereas with doing rent to rent, she's putting all the money into deposits. And mainly furniture and things like that.
I agree. Tell me about Anthony.
Okay, so Anthony's plan is obviously to do buy, refurbish, refinance.
Yeah.
He's been working really hard this week, going out doing lots of viewings. At first, when I went out, I was a bit surprised that he was pricing the work up on his own because obviously you want an accurate quote. Having said that, having spoken to him, I think he does know what he's talking about, looking around the houses. He's got a very good idea of how much things cost.
Do you think there's a chance, though, with buy, refurbish, refinance, if he's banking on being able to pull his money out? I mean...
But what's the worst? That's what I'm saying. If he doesn't pull his money out, he still owns the house.
Yeah, he's still got an asset.
He's still got an asset, whereas if Hannah's doesn't work, she's got nothing.
So let's just say Hannah does her service accommodation, and then in 6 months the rules change, and the vendor says...
Should we bring him in?
Yeah.
Let's get him in.
Good luck. We'll smash this. Yeah.
How you guys feeling?
Nervous.
Good. So, how have you done, Hannah?
I think I've done okay. I think last week, we went round the 5 apartments, got to see them. They're not going to be finished now until mid-June. There's a slight setback in the construction. But we got some really good footage with the landlady. She's going to basically let me choose the design of the apartments and things and fully furnish it.
Hannah, what do you think my biggest concern is with you?
With me, as a person?
Well,
or the business plan?
And or your plan?
I think my plan is riskier than Anthony's because it involves service accommodation and it involves units that aren't currently ready at the moment. So that's a risk in itself. I'd probably say that's your biggest concern.
Anthony, what do you think my biggest concern with you is?
that I probably can overanalyze things a little bit too much. And I know last time when we were in the boardroom, I put too much detail in the business plan. And,
well, you didn't put too much detail in it. It was just a terrible business plan. It wasn't too detailed, it just sucked.
Okay.
So what do you think my concern is with you now?
I think without seeing what I've done, your concern would be that if you give me the £20,000 that I won't invest it correctly.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have seen what you've done to a point. I know Russell's been out with you. What are you thinking?
In all fairness to Anthony, he seems to know what he's talking about when looking at the property. He's got a very good idea of how much the jobs are to be done. He's got a pretty good eye for spotting the right viewings and finding the right sort of houses. So I think that from what I've seen, I'll be very interested in seeing his finished results. But from what I've seen, I think he's got a pretty good idea of what to do.
So where are you planning on buying, Anthony?
So I've looked at properties in Crewe and Stoke.
Have you got a particular property, or you just got a general plan?
No, I've got 2 properties that I've secured.
Okay. Can you show me?
Yes.
Do you have anything with you now?
Would you mind if I got them out of my bag?
No, it's okay.
So this is a property that I've secured in Crewe. So it's on the market for £70,000. I've secured it for 60. I initially went in there expecting the works to be at £12,000.
I already like the look of this.
But I've since had quotes on all the work, and with a contingency of 20%, I've got the refurb cost down to £8,778.
Is that from a builder, is that?
So basically the quotes for that are all build works to be done by a professional builder. I've also then put in, for most of the work to be project managed by myself, but then also put in £1,400 labour costs for a local labour merchant that I use to cover £100 a day, so 14 days worth of work for him.
Are you going to be hands-on with the project management and stuff?
Yes, for this one, yeah.
And I've seen that you're very good at refurbs because you had it in the challenge.
This house, because I've been around this house, it's very much cosmetics. It looks terrible when you walk in.
It looks beautiful to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm impressed.
Do you know what I like, Anthony? Is on, I think, the 3rd task we asked you to write a business plan, and you gave us a 30-page business plan. You've taken on the feedback that we gave you about that, and you've now presented us with a 6 or 7-page plan. Yeah, top job. Very good.
It's a good business plan.
And you've factored in a lot as well.
Hannah, let me ask you a question. I mean, this is a good business plan. You know Anthony, you've worked with him.
I have.
You know his strategy.
I do.
Why do you think? What do you see any flaws in this?
No, I think it's very. I think it's a safer strategy than the one that I'm adopting, in terms of the fact that he's actually investing his money in capital appreciation. But one thing that I would say is that my business plan is interchangeable. So Anthony's business plan is focused on buying a property.
Tell me about pitch your business plan to me then.
So my business plan mainly is factored into 3 steps. The first step is basically to acquire service accommodation units, use it as a cash cow, to invest money in...
And that'll be in Cambridge, right?
That's in Cambridge,
and you've got them, I mean, how...
I can't criticise Hannah, to be honest. When I was with Hannah, it was everything was good. Properties are immaculate.
Are the properties secured?
They're secured. Sorry.
Yeah. So the 5 apartments of mine is in a brand new building. So I basically get the whole building. They're 5 studio apartments.
How many apartments are in the whole building? 5?
5, yeah.
And you've got all 5?
All 5, yeah.
And you're renting them?
Yeah.
And how much rent are you paying for the 5 of them?
£5,000.
5,000.
5,000 per unit.
And you obviously the lease, the mortgage has all been checked and covered.
Yeah, all fine. So I actually use this other landlord for one of my other service accommodation units.
Okay. And you've done this before.
Yeah. So the reason why I say mine is interchangeable is because actually since being in the castle and doing my business plan, my step 1 was do the whole, basically invest most of the money in the service accommodation units myself. I've actually reconsidered that now, and I'm potentially going to get a JV partner in. So I put in less money, and potentially that JV partner is going to manage them for me as well.
Okay.
So I'll be spending half the money, and then the other half of the money will allow me to basically move on to step 2 a lot quicker. And step 2 is finish refurbing my actual home residence, remortgage it so I can pull out a lot of money from it, because I actually bought that below market value in 2017. I just haven't had the money to pull out.
It's a little bit still all over the place then, isn't it, really?
No, sure, and I appreciate that, but I genuinely think that the business plan that I've put in front of you can generate more income.
Show me the business plan then.
I don't have my business plan on me, no.
It just doesn't look great.
No, I completely appreciate that. I understand that. I thought that when we handed them in, they'd be here, but that's my fault. I take that on the chin.
You thought what?
I thought that they'd be here when we left them at the castle. That's my fault.
But you've also changed the business plan since then.
No, I said it's interchangeable.
Yeah, but you've got a new idea, which is actually I'm going to do this whole thing with my house. Have you written that down and got that in the plan?
It's in the business plan, yeah, that's step 2, that's year 2.
Which is
so the business plan, as far as you're concerned,
hasn't changed.
The same.
It's stayed exactly the same. All I'm saying is I could accelerate it if I wanted to.
So have you not brought with you the figures for the house that you'll want us to, like this? Have you brought your evidence?
As in my actual house, the figures?
As in the file, anything, any evidence of what you're going to actually, what have you been doing the last 2 weeks if the business plan's the exact same?
What have I been doing?
Yeah.
So I've been making sure that the apartments are when they're going to be ready and to view them, and making sure that everything's agreed for them and what I'm going to do in terms of management agents and things like that.
I think what's making me struggle is the fact that you've seen Anthony's pitch, you've heard his business plan, and you've said, yes, Anthony's is really good.
Yeah.
Yes, mine's risky. Yes, mine's all over the place. It's not. You need to help me out a bit.
I don't think it's all over the place. I think my plan's very clear. It hasn't changed. All I'm saying is the fact that it's interchangeable and the fact that I can accelerate my year 1 to my year 2. That's all I'm saying, because, like service accommodation is slightly riskier. I'm saying that I can buy some of that risk back by JV partnering. I know what I'm doing with service accommodation. I know that it will work. I know the figures because I run a studio apartment that's not too far from there. It makes a lot of profit, and I know that this will work. And in terms of the return on investment of the money that you're going to give me, I know that my return on investment will be higher than Anthony's business plan.
The reason why I need the £20,000 is because in order to take this 20% off him, it costs me money. So it's either cost me a return if I give him a percentage back, which would be 12%, etc., or in this particular case, it's 50%. So it's a joint venture, 50% of the property. I'm happy to do this because capital appreciation, I'll get it in the long term. But what I want to do is build a portfolio for myself. So
you're not really answering my question. You're just waffling.
Just to clarify,
I'm confused.
We're going to give you 20. You've just confused me as well. So we're going to give you £20,000 if you win. What are you going to use that £20,000 for? Because you've just told us you've got a JV partner who's going to pay for the buying costs.
And you've got bridging finance for the rest.
So what do you need that 20k for?
To buy that house or this house.
You've got 2.
I've found 2.
So you're going to be buying both houses, but if we don't give you money, you'll still buy one?
That's correct.
Right, okay. Can we have a look at this house, please?
Yes, of course.
Which one would you buy if you just bought one?
I would buy that one if I had
the thing is, and I don't want to have to argue Hannah's case for her, but you're saying with your 20 grand, it's going to really help me because I'm going to be able to buy one more house. You've already got a house that you've done this strategy with, no money down. You've just got a second one which you've got no money down, and you want a third house, which makes me feel like, oh, I want to skyrocket someone. £20,000 is a lot of money. One of you will leave this building with £20,000 in your bank, and I'm just feeling potentially that would mean more to Hannah than it would to you.
Why do you think that? Sorry.
Because you're about to buy 2 houses this month. But if I don't give you any money, you'll still buy one. But no doubt by next week you'll have raised the money yourself anyway.
Although I've secured this joint venture partner, I still haven't signed the agreement. I'm quite confident.
But when it stacks in your favour, you were like, yeah, I've got this agreement, and now you think, oh, actually, I haven't signed the documents. Which one is it?
I'm confident I've got this joint venture partner. But like I said, for me, this £20,000 means the difference between growing my business the way I'd like to grow it.
No, this isn't going to help you much. It's just going to slightly improve.
I think this is just going to give you 2 houses.
In all fairness to Anthony, what? You're going to be successful anyway, so we're not going to help you. They're both going to be successful anyway.
My strategy for these houses, the reason why I've looked at these particular houses in these areas is because I have multiple strategies with them. Strategy 1 is to hold it if I use an investor. Because it leaves £6,000 in there. What I don't want to do is squander that £20,000 that you would give me. What I'd like to do is use that effectively. I know you said buying right now isn't the right thing to do, but both of these areas I've selected because the buying market of the area is really high. So I'll refurbish the house, sell the house, make a profit on it, and be able to to buy more houses and until I find a house that gets the right profit.
Look, I'm looking at your numbers here. On the £56,000 house, so this is the second one you just gave us, yeah? You've got the purchase cost at £38,192. Can you just break that down quickly? Because that seems awfully high for purchasing costs.
That's
on a £50,000 house.
The bridging plus the refurbishment cost.
Okay, so that's not purchase cost then, is it? Because then you've also got a separate line for renovation costs.
Could you want to get up so you're looking at the same thing?
Do you want to have a look at the same
It's okay, no, so the purchasing cost, that's the full cost. That's when it's deducted at the end. The refurbishment cost, I've added a second line just because it's in the second, but that purchasing cost includes the refurbishment costs.
So, £56,000 property, how much are we going to need to actually buy that house? Forget refurb at the minute. So just to buy the house, just to finance it and buy it, how much is that going to be?
To finance and buy it?
Yes.
Excluding the refurb. The refurbishment is built into the bridging finance on that one.
I just want the answer. So, like £56,000 house.
Yeah.
How much is the deposit and the legal cost to buy that house?
So
it doesn't have to be to the pound. I'm just talking an approximate, because you've got down here 38,000, but that seems high. That's only £20,000 less than the purchase price.
So with the bridging, obviously, I will have to put in a higher percentage.
How much?
35% on bridging.
Okay, so 35% of 56,000 is how much?
17.5, something like that. So 18, 19.
And then the remainder of it, what's that? 30, and then plus the refurbishment on top of it brings it to that figure, 38.
Okay, that's fine. Right. Okay, it's just not clear on here.
No, apologies, but it does. The figures do add up.
I'm sure they do, but it's just not very clear on here. But yeah, okay, thank you.
Make a decision very, very quickly. Hannah, I don't feel you've given me much, really.
Okay, I disagree with you.
Here's your opportunity.
I think if you gave me this £20,000, it would genuinely change my life, because not only will it propel me in property, and it will bring me an income, and it will completely change my lifestyle to where I am right now. The business plan that I've given you is a business plan that will make me a lot of income very quickly. It will use your money very efficiently, and it will generate a higher ROI. I don't think by Anthony buying 2 houses will change his life. I don't think that amount of money will change his life that drastically. I think that his business plan is very good, and I think it's very safe, and I do think mine's riskier, but I think that mine, the £20,000 will change my life. I don't think it will change Anthony's, and I think that when you see what I can do with it and where I'll be in 12 months' time, I think you'll agree with it. And hopefully after seeing me and the way that I've operated, and the fact that I wasn't in any boardroom, I didn't lose on any team, throughout this whole process will hopefully give you a good indication of the person that I am, and that your money will be safe and very well invested.
Hannah, why is this £20,000 so important to you? Now, I understand about changing people's lives. Effectively, what will it change in your life?
Freedom. It gives me freedom with my family. Look, I think people have different goals in life. My goals are to make memories and share experiences with people that I love and people that are around me. And in order to do that, I need time, but things cost money. So I need for things to be paid, and property gives me that machine to do that. So I've got family members that work around the clock for very little money, and it's hard. It's really hard watching them suffer when I could possibly give them an out with the information that I've got in my head, with a bit of a helping hand. And if I can change their lives through a bit of action of what I do, then that's an unbelievable thing to have an impact on.
Do you know one thing that I'm actually a little bit disappointed with today is I came to your employers. I believe that's where you qualified as a solicitor.
Yeah.
And they spoke so highly of you. They spoke so highly about your organisational skills. And the one thing that disappoints me is you didn't come with your business plan.
I know.
That's the one thing that disappoints me today.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. Look, I completely understand. I'm disappointed in the fact that I didn't bring it. I'm terribly sorry about that. I can only apologise. But I can only hope that, like I said, you know me throughout the process. You've asked me about my business plan, the figures. You've seen me. You've seen the stuff that I've showed. The cameramen have seen the potential that the business plan's got. I truly think that. It's a good plan.
No matter what way today goes, you're both going to be super successful. and you don't need the £20,000 and pass that knowledge on to your family.
Anthony, you can probably see the passion in Hannah, and that this will be a life-changing thing for her. I just don't get that from you at all.
Okay. For me, this £20,000 isn't just for me. You know, the purpose of why I want to do this strategy is because I want to build houses for people to live in. I've just, you know, the disgusting house that we went into, people were living in that house, and that's why I want to refurb these to this quality, and that's why the £20,000 will change my life, because it's not just for me, it's for the other people that I'm going to put in these houses. You know,
I don't buy that.
I don't buy that at all. I'm sorry, you just got...
It's not. You know, money doesn't make my world go around, but being able to do something with it does.
So does that mean you're going to do a heavily discounted rent to these people?
No, because people pay the rent in the area for the quality of the house that's there, and I'm going to provide them quality of housing for people.
Why do you care about?
Why do I care? Because I have been in that situation. I've been in that situation where I have had nothing, and I've been put in a house that's disgusting with mold on the wall. You know, and my landlord didn't care about me, you know, and that's where people are. I go into these houses all the time, you know, and then when people say, oh, somebody's living in this house, and you're like, nobody's living in this house because this house is disgusting. So I want to change that for people, you know, and all these things that keep changing with the laws and landlords and things like that, that's fine, because I'll be better than them people, and I'll provide houses for people for years to come, because we are becoming a nation of renters. You know, and people haven't got the opportunity to buy houses anymore. They're not presented with opportunities like this where they might change their lives and have money to buy houses. But I am, so I'm going to use it properly, you know, and change people's lives.
Do you know what I want to see from you, Anthony? Have you got your actual business plan, or have you just got these?
I've got the business plan.
Okay. One thing I want to know from you is, rather than just these 2 houses, have you got a strategy in place for, as you're pulling money out, you're reinvesting it?
Into houses.
So what's your...
So my long-term plan for these houses was, in the first year, I aimed to flip 3 of these houses, because if I could take between £10,000 and £15,000 out of 3 houses, that means I've then got some more money to use the second year, so I can then buy and hold, and I can build a portfolio very quickly.
So what's that?
My aim in the end of the 3 years is to have a portfolio of 20 houses, and I think I can do that with this strategy.
Okay. No, it's interesting because it was more like a buy, refurbish and finance business then, as opposed to I'm just buying 2 houses.
I'm not just buying 2 houses, you know, I'm building a portfolio.
Anthony, tell me what you think of Hannah's plan.
I think Hannah's plan is risky. I have serviced accommodation, and I know the market is extremely risky. I know the market changes quite fluidly, although I know Hannah is very skilled at what she does, and if she says it will work, you know, and these essays will make money, then I'm confident that Hannah's done the figures.
So you think we might be better off giving Hannah the 20,000?
I don't think that at all. I think that my business plan is very strong, you know, and I think Hannah's business plan is very strong.
If we could see it.
Sorry?
If we could see it.
Can I look at your business plan?
Yes.
So let me ask you, Anthony, would you invest in Hannah's business idea?
Right now, no.
If you had £20,000, so right now you don't have £20,000 because you're asking us for it, but if you had £20,000 and you're looking for an investment, do you think Hannah's business would be a good idea, a good investment?
Personally, I wouldn't, and the reason why is because...
So Hannah, would you invest in Anthony's business plan?
If I had £20,000?
Yeah. Forgetting your service accommodation side of things, if you're an investor, like Samuel's an investor, would you invest in Anthony's business plan?
It would depend on the return of investment.
Anthony, what's your return on investment?
So it's 53% on the one, 40 on the other.
Then yeah, it looks like a good business plan.
I mean, the thing is, obviously, the £20,000 that I'm going to give one of you today is a gift. It's not an investment, you could say, but at the same time, although it's no strings attached, of course, I want to see as much change as I can. I'm an investor, so although I'm not going to be getting a financial gain from it, I'll be getting a satisfaction gain. Shall we have a few minutes to have a chat and call them back in? But as I say, before you leave the building today, one of you will be £20,000 richer. So if you can give us a few minutes, that'd be great. Thank you. Hannah, I am scared about her plan.
Yeah, a little bit, but I think you get the money back so quickly.
No, well, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I am a bit scared that she'll piss it up the wall. I really rate her. I think she's a very competent person, but I'm just not sure. Anthony's, I'm very sure in. I'm very confident in. But it's just not as exciting.
Yeah, it's boring, isn't it?
And I'd love to see Hannah win.
Hannah's, you only need 10 grand. What pisses me off about Hannah is where are the figures? Like,
that does.
Where's the pictures of the thing? What's she been doing? The whole point of this was you get together, you go and do the work, and then you re-edit your business plan based on what you've learned and bring it in. She bought nothing.
Anthony's done that, hasn't he?
Anthony is very prepared. I'm very impressed.
Do you know what's really good is they're nice and neat.
I can't see right now how you can not give it to Anthony.
The thing about Hannah's plan is the cash flow is going to come a lot quicker. So the return on investment is going to come much, much quicker.
If it comes.
Yeah, it's a risk, but so is what if Anthony's properties don't get valued up?
Then he just owns a property.
Yeah. It's going to change Hannah's life.
Hannah really wants this. It's coming from in there. You can feel it.
You can't say. I thought this when you were saying it. You can't say you're going to be successful anyway. It's like, okay, well they're both going to be successful anyway. You can't. Oh, you can raise money. You're awesome anyway. So I'm not going to give you the win. You're not going to make you the winner because you deserve it.
Alistair, what would you do in my situation right now?
If I was you, I would personally give it to Hannah because you're going to get the money back quicker.
Well, I'm not going to get any money back.
No. Okay, the investor would get the money back quicker.
The money's going to go further.
The money's going to go further, and I think it means a lot more to Hannah. Anthony's already proved he can raise money.
Yeah, listen though, Al. You can't award the winner of the show based on who you think wants it more.
Yeah,
they both really want it. They've both gone through the process. They both here.
really want it, but
You've got to award who's done better.
Wants it more does better in life. If you
well,
got
clearly
people
not.
with the same business plan,
well, then Anthony clearly wants it more, doesn't he? Because his business plan is better.
In fairness, because he brought his business plan here, yeah.
Yeah.
But by far, I think Anthony's is the safest, absolutely, because they'll be owning the asset.
I like to be a little bit of a risk taker. Okay, I think yeah.
Hi, Samuel.
Hiya, Abby, can you come through to the boardroom, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Can you please send £20,000 across to this account? Thank you. It's not been an easy decision. Anthony, you've impressed us with your proposal. Hannah, you're clearly very, very competent. One of you is going to walk away with £20,000. Do you think it should be you, Anthony?
Yes.
Hannah, do you think it should be you?
100%.
How do you feel right now?
Very nervous.
Why?
Because what comes out of your mouth can drastically change the course of my life.
Anthony, how do you feel?
I can feel my heart going 100 miles an hour because everything's led up to this, and I think I've grown and developed, and I just want to be able to do it even more. So, like Hannah said, this is going to change one of our lives.
Without the money, the process of the eviction, well, how is that going to help you?
It's helped me develop massively as a person. The business plan that I presented to you, everything in there when I was contemplating it, there's all stages of things that have happened through the eviction. So it's really helped me grow as a person. And I'm going to be forever thankful for that.
How about you, Hannah?
Yeah, knowledge and confidence. Like the particular task where we had to go out and find no money down deals, lease options, I've never touched them before. And the confidence to literally go out there and go direct to estate agents and ask for things like that. And the relationships that I built with the other contestants. I mean, a couple of us potentially may even go into business with each other further down the line, which is really cool.
I mean, I think you're both extremely strong. And we we were even talking about, oh my goodness, could we just give it to both of them? You know, because you're both fantastic. And whatever happens moving forward, you're both going to receive a lot of help and support from us, both personally and in every way possible, really. Because we're really rooting for you. And we were actually pretty torn, weren't we?
Yeah, that was the longest and hardest decision.
What were you thinking?
I've been toing and throwing. I went into the meeting thinking one thing, changed my mind, changed back.
But you were leaning in afterwards, you were leaning towards Anthony and you were leaning towards Hannah. But ultimately, I've had to make the decision. And as joyful as it is giving away £20,000 to somebody, it's also really hard not giving it to somebody. So, Hannah, congrats, you've got through to the final. Anthony, you've won my trust because I wasn't convinced when you said about the tenants, but I think I am now. The question is, who have I decided to transfer my £20,000 money to? Abby, is the money actually in the account?
Yeah, the money's been transferred.
So right now, there has been £20,000 transferred into Anthony's account. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate the help that you guys have given me along the journey. And I won't let you down with this. You know, it's going to be amazing to show you what I get to do with this.
Hannah, great effort. You've been a fantastic contestant and we're going to support you and work with you. Anthony, well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you, Boxer. Thank you, Alistair.
Well done.
Cheers, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks guys, really appreciate it.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Sorry.
Oh goodness. That was so emotional and intense.
Yeah,
wasn't
do you know what it is?
Honestly. Yeah, go on.
It's emotional because sometimes when you feel like you got
It's alright.
the weight of other people on you, I just wanted to do it for them. That's fine.
So I think it was a good result in the end for Anthony. Anthony's a very deserving winner. The problem we got is there were two super strong candidates. They both got very different business plans. Ultimately, you know, I like assets, so I do think Anthony probably was he edged it just a little bit. I know Hannah's might bring in more cash, but I fundamentally like assets, so I think that is the more deserving winner in this case.
So I've just won £20,000. I cannot believe it. I'm absolutely over the moon. When we were in the boardroom and Samuel was asking questions about the business plan and why I deserved the £20,000, I did think there was a moment that Hannah had won. You know, and I would have been so pleased for her, but I just knew what this meant to me. I'm so happy, I just can't explain it. I think Hannah's absolutely fantastic, and Hannah and I have already discussed that we're going to do some business together outside of this. So we've got some opportunities that we're going to work on. I think she's been a great candidate, and the whole way through this process, it's been great to see her in the finals, and I couldn't have asked for a better person to be there in the final with me. Although it's made it extremely tough, because had somebody weaker been there, then you know I would have won quite easily.
It was a tough decision, but at the end of the day, I do think that Anthony deserved to win. But there were such strong candidates, and Hannah was so close. But ultimately, I think I made the right decision.
Man, that was brutal. But genuinely really happy for Anthony. And I say this because he's a really, really good guy. There's a couple of other people that I would have been a little bit more disappointed about if I would have lost in the final. But he's a good guy, and I didn't really know him before this actually. He's actually one of my friends now, without a doubt, and we're actually JVing on a really cool thing that we found when we're on the eviction. It's brutal, it's horrible, this feeling at the moment, but it's nicer in a way to know that he's won. So there is a silver lining to it in a way, because although it feels horrible at this moment in time, he's a really great guy, and genuinely pleased for him. His business plan was epic, and he pulled out the bag massively over like the last week. Mine pretty much stayed the same, but his business plan that he came in there with, and his ROI and things like that. And Samuel even asked me would I invest in it, and I would. So this is the beginning of a bigger journey. So.
Throughout the eviction process, you've seen 13 people on their journey to financial freedom. And I'm very passionate about helping people, which is why I train thousands of people every single year to become property investors. So if you'd like to become a property investor, then you can join me at the Property Investors Crash Course, which is a free program where you can learn the skills to start your journey to financial freedom.